Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell it, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Welcome everyone. Thanks everyone for joining to our live Tokyo session. This is bonus session number 2, our second one of the day. If you guys joined us early this morning, we did a live New York from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and we caught 3 trades and all 3 were successful. So congrats to those that had some fun this morning if you joined. And if you didn't, welcome guys. This is our second session of the day. This is the Tokyo live futures. We're going to go from 6:30 till about 8:30. Then I got to wrap it up because we got some Monday night football with the Patriots playing tonight. And we also have Powell speaking at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so we got to take it easy tonight in the markets because right when the futures open up, Powell is also scheduled for like a speech. We'll go over that, and we got to be careful trading at that time. And if you guys are going to join us tomorrow, join us again for live New York, again 6 a.m. Eastern. And tomorrow's a double day again with New York and Tokyo. And also if you want to join Dave in the private Zoom, Dave is also Sorry, let me just look at schedule. My bad. Let me just look at the schedule here 1 second. I'll get to that. I believe I'm post New York tomorrow. Post New York and Dave is New York. So my apologies. I'll go over that in just a moment. Okay. I even forget what the days are, to tell you the truth. But I'll figure that out. Okay. So thanks everyone for joining. If you don't mind, I'd like to get right into it because we don't have too much time on today's call. Again, it's not the greatest volume to be trading right now at 6:26 p.m. Eastern. So we got a lot of time to go over today's news and just get all of the household stuff out of the way, and then we can get right into the charts and we'll do a nice clean top-down analysis. If you're here how to learn how to do it top-down, this is the place to do it during Tokyo. The markets are not as generally fast as trading in New York or London, but Tokyo has been exceptional in the last couple months regarding gold, making some big moves, okay? So when the Asian side of the world opens up, when we got Japan, we got Australia, New Zealand, there is lots of volume trading gold at this time of the day, okay? So first thing is today's news. We already went through today's news. You guys remember right after our call this morning, ISM manufacturing came out really poor. You can see it came out 48.2. That's less than 50. That means that manufacturing is contracting, shrinking, getting smaller. If manufacturing gets smaller, that means more possible layoffs, job losses, and things like that. And a decreasing economy could lead into a recession. So we're below 50 and it came out red. That's obviously not good for the US dollar at that time. We'll see how the market kind of takes this information and how we trade tomorrow. This is the one announcement that I want everyone to be familiar with right here. 8 p.m. tonight, so we will be trading this up until 8:30. This is also right when the futures market opens up. So we've got a USD medium impact orange folder. Fed Chair Powell speaks. So if you click on the folder right here, he's due to participate in a panel discussion about his economic policy contributions at the Stanford University. And there's also questions. So if you want to kind of listen in on this, I'm sure that you can find a link available and you can listen in on this. So you guys should all know who Fed Reserve Chair Powell is. Right now, Trump already has his replacement in Haskett already. There was some rumors that this might be Powell's resignation or goodbye speech. I think that was all BS, to tell you the truth. I don't think Powell is going to walk away until his time is officially up. So I don't think he's going to give in and resign. But that was what some analysts were saying earlier this morning. I don't believe that, okay? So he's state to talk about anything. Why should we care? As head of the central bank at the Fed Reserve, which controls short-term interest rates, he has more influence over the nation's currency value than any other person. I'm going to read that again. Mr. Powell has more influence over the nation's currency value than any other person, even more so than Trump. So traders scrutinize his public engagements as they are often used to drop subtle clues regarding future monetary policy. So there's about a 90% chance next week, going into the last FOMC of this year, that US is going to cut another 25 basis points. It was at a pause just a few days ago, and now it's kind of flipped back to a decrease. So we got to get ready for next week for FOMC as well, coming in next week. Okay, so that's our news tonight. We have to be aware of that. So be careful at that time, guys, okay? And some quick stuff in the news regarding Bitcoin cryptos. Bank of America says clients should start thinking about crypto exposure now with the nice little pullback it's had. The firm is endorsing a 1% to 4% allocation to digital assets for its wealth management clients. Bitcoin is down 5%. It's getting hammered lately. So maybe it's still got some room to go down, but it kind of found a little bit of support, but really didn't hold. So, those could be those little dead cat bounces, and there's continuing offers still pushing down Bitcoin and other cryptos, okay? Stocks slide as December gets off to a rocky start. Bitcoin plummets as analysts warns to brace for more volatility. You could see that billions and trillions of dollars are getting liquidated on leveraged positions in just a matter of hours. So there you guys understand the impact of leverage. If you utilize it against you in the wrong way, it can really, really destroy you. So you can see probably retail traders with the added leverage where they were buying at in the 100, 110, 120 thousands are getting destroyed. So you got to be careful with leverage, guys. Costco joins companies suing for refunds if Trump tariffs fall. Vanguard now reverses its position, will now allow crypto ETFs. So you guys see how a lot of crypto news is coming out when crypto starts falling, because these big banks now, they don't want to buy at highs, they want to buy discounted pricing. So they could be bringing the pricing down to get to a nice key level, and they're going to start accumulating again, as you and I should be as well. So don't be scared, don't be panicked, they're going to create all types of articles to scare you and things like that. We've seen this. If you've been in the markets for more than 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years, it's the same cycle it goes through. They create fear for us to shake us out and take our stocks, our shares, our crypto, whatever it is. And then they'll hold it for you, and they'll take it to new high pricing in the next time to come. So, guys, always I look at as opportunities. I always look at that to buy opportunities. And what else we got going on? Michael Burry, who's shorting everything right now, he's shorting Palantir and Nvidia. Now he's also talking about Tesla is ridiculously overvalued. Okay, so this guy's putting a big 60% of his portfolio on shorting Nvidia and Palantir and possibly Tesla now. I don't know if it will pay off or if it's a good bet. I don't know, especially with going into the next FOMC next week, where if there's rate cuts, markets could still continue to pump. Okay, so there's lots of news. Right, we had earnings today, some earnings, and that's what we got going on news-wise. We also send out Discord. In our Discord, we have signals, trade ideas available to you guys as well. If you guys are looking for some extra help with some signals, we do also have that available. Also, thanks everyone on YouTube, 130 viewers. I appreciate you guys for a Tokyo session. There is a free Telegram channel. It's pinned at the top of the YouTube for you guys. If you guys want to join it, it's there for you guys. It's free. Gives you all of our live links to all of our sessions right over here, like our Tokyo, our New Yorks. There's one more deal that's going on right now, the Cyber Monday deal. All plans at SST, if you want to decide to join up with us, all plans are 50% off. And a lot of before and afters, what we do here. Also, we post all of our blogs available here. This was a really good one we talked about in the morning, importance of charting and trading. I can go over this real quick with us again if you missed the earlier call. However, if you guys were on the earlier call, maybe I don't need to go over it. And also just a happy Thanksgiving to everyone that celebrated over the weekend, okay? And this Telegram channel is pinned at the top of YouTube for everybody. Join it. Also, here's the link for your Cyber Monday deal with the code and everything like that, okay? And if you're having any issues, give us an email at stocksnipertrading.com. If you need education, myself and Dave are the coaches over here. We can help educate you and navigate you to where you can be the best trader possible that you can be. We can help guide you, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to take control and you're going to have to make things happen yourself, okay? We can only do so much here, and then we put the ball in your hand after, and then you got to continue doing your thing, okay? And if you want to join us on all of our live sessions, this is this week's schedule. We've already had our live New York earlier this morning. Here's our Tokyo session. So sorry, I mixed up the schedule. Dave is going New York tomorrow, 8 a.m. I'm post at 11 a.m. till 2, and then we're going to have a break, and then we're going to come back for a Tokyo session. So that's how it's going to be going the rest of the week. So all sessions are available, and also the free blog. Go over here to more, click on blog, and your blogs are over here. So real quick, I just want to go over this because it's really important. We're going to do a nice thorough top-down analysis, and I want you guys to understand, if you weren't with us over this morning's call, here's a little quick review. Importance of charting and trading, okay? So taking charting seriously and trading is crucial for identifying critical points of interest, those daily POIs, points of control, those POCs that we find with our Fibonacci, you know, the 50%, a little bit above and a little bit below, and specific zones of support or resistance or consolidating zones are important to figure out where they are. So which can significantly enhance consistency and profitability over time if you adhere to these rules and you follow these rules on a daily basis, and you get also polish up on your risk management. You could be doing really well at trading every single day. I'm not going to say every single day is going to be a profitable day, but most days will be profitable days, and your losing days will be controlled days where you're not blowing up accounts, okay? You can't, all traders lose, but more successful traders are not losing their entire accounts. They're giving back a little bit of their compounded profits, but they're not blowing accounts, okay? So let's start putting an end to blowing up accounts, okay? And then you're really going to start to learn what real trading is. Okay, so number one, enhanced decision making. By identifying support and resistance levels, traders can make informed decisions about entry and exit points. We can utilize a good chart and trade off of specific higher time frame areas. It can set us up in better probability setups than just trading anywhere, anytime on the chart. So if a security consistently bounces off a particular price level, like a supporting level, buying at or near that level can increase the probability of successful trades. If you've seen today, a lot of our snipers in our Discord were playing ping pong all day with specific key areas and buying and selling right off of these areas and doing really well. And honestly, I'll show you our Discord channel and you can see for yourself. Not myself, not Dave. It's the snipers utilizing these points of interest and trading off of them all day, until your daily goal is met, and then hopefully you're done trading. Number two, what charting also helps with our risk management. Knowing where the points of control are, areas where most transactions occur, it can help us in setting stop loss orders effectively above or below these critical zones. If the price breaks through these levels, it can indicate a change in market sentiment, prompting an exit to minimize our losses, close, because then there could be a further move and you could incur further losses, okay? Trend identification. Chart patterns like head and shoulders, double bottoms, double tops, triangles, symmetrical triangles, flags in the markets, provide visual clues on potential trend reversals or continuation. So you guys know with your pattern recognition, we can recognize which patterns are reversal patterns and which patterns are continuation patterns. So recognizing these patterns allows traders to capitalize on upcoming moves rather than reacting late. We have volume analysis. So these zones, if you also use a volume indicator, can also help us as a confluence, letting us know if high volume at these certain price levels or zones shows strong interest with buyers or sellers. So a trader who identifies these volumes at critical support resistance zones can anticipate future price movement more accurately, since these areas often act as magnets for price action. And when you have volume complementing that zone, then it can give you confidence to enter into that trade. And it can improve our timing. So the Fib tool that we use, the Fibonacci retracement levels, can help pinpoint potential reversal zones after significant movements. Traders using these tools can better time their entries and exits, improving trade success. Finally, market sentiment insight. So candlestick patterns, what we do here, understanding price action, such as dojis, engulfing patterns, ignited bars, all of these things reveal shifts in market sentiment. Recognizing these formations enables us to detect when momentum might be shifting, providing an edge in timing trade. So if you guys remember on our earlier call this morning, the first trade was that fake out with that bearish engulfing candle, and I sold the next bar for 60 pips. So if you guys remember that, I waited patiently to see if that was going to be a retest, a confirmed where I would have looked for a buy, but when I saw it was a fake out and the sellers engulfed the previous buyers, it gave me a good probability to enter that trade and realize no drawdown, straight to 60 pips where I cashed out 80%, left the rest running. So it's by understanding pattern recognition at critical areas in the market that can help you make informed decisions, okay? And finally, there is this chart. So when we do a top-down analysis, right over here, you can see that the 5-minute bars are pushing down, lower lows. The 5 minutes make a resistance right here and continue to push down, but it gets down to a yellow daily line. So I know when the 5-minute volume is coming down here, it's at a daily point of interest. And then you see there's one bounce. It didn't really take out that high, so it kind of came back down. There's the double bottom at this daily point of interest. I could have bought the second bottom, made some nice pips, but I have to be aware of this resistance right up here. And you can see it didn't break, and then it came down a third time where you get a nice bullish pattern continuing. And then the third time is the charm that breaks out of here, closes above, comes back down to retest. This is where this 5-minute resistance red line officially turns to support going forward. And you can see how the 5-minute volume transacted right back up to the next 5-minute resistance. It's like clockwork. That's why I always measure moves from yellow line to red line or red line to the next red line. So I know exactly how many points, pips, or ticks I'm looking for, okay? And you can see a lot of this development happened at this daily point of interest. So you could have gotten a quick little buy there, you could have gotten a quick little buy there, and you could have gotten a third buy there. And you could have basically met your daily goal or exceeded it just by buying at this critical level. And the reason how you identify this is what we're going to do is a top-down analysis, okay? So finally, this is how you can see it like with a Google example or image where it comes down, one bottom, there's the neckline, comes back down, second bottom, then there's your closure above and your next push. But you see how this chart doesn't really identify where I'm at. I see a double bottom on the 5 minutes, but I don't know if that was a daily point of interest, how I had it on my chart. So those will help me understanding that I'm at a daily point of interest where there could be daily buyers buying on the lower time frames. And me as a scalper, that's all I'm looking for. A quick little bounce out of there for 20 points, 30, 40, 50. Then I'm controlling my stop loss by going to break even, and I'm also taking out some profit along the way. So that all starts with a solid top-down analysis and importance of charting and trading. So that blog is available right over there for you guys. And finally, let's get started. We appreciate everyone on YouTube, everyone on Zoom. Thanks guys for joining. If you guys on YouTube can kindly hit the like button. If you guys are getting value on a daily basis, we're working overtime for you guys now, doing 2 sessions per day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. So if you guys do appreciate our effort, we do hit the like button. That's all it costs you guys is a like. It doesn't cost you guys anything. And finally, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit maybe 90,000 by the end of this week. That's another 370 subs if we can get there, okay? And now I'm going to get started. This is our live Tokyo session. Good evening, everyone. Thanks everyone on Zoom for joining. Amir, welcome, brother. It's good to see you back, my man. Sergio, what's up? Thank you for joining as well, brother. Phantom, welcome. Justin, thanks for joining, brother. I appreciate you. Trevor, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's a little quiet in the indices section because gold has taken the spotlight, but you continue doing your thing with DAX in London, Trev, and collect those pips. I love trading DAX in London. It's one of my favorite securities when I was trading London. So it trades really nice during London. So continue at that. Welcome, guys. Justin, you're a Pats fan. Yeah, so good luck tonight. We'll see if they're for real, you know. I'm still not sold on the Patriots being the top team in the NFL. I don't know. I think maybe we'll see what happens, but they are a strong team. Tony, welcome. Lillian, okay, Lisa, it's you. Okay, you changed your name. I remember you were always Phoenix Rising, right? Okay, so Lisa, good to see you back. Welcome. And okay, awesome, guys. And everyone on YouTube, thank you guys for joining as well. I appreciate all of you guys. Joka Chios, I probably butchered that, but hopefully I did good. Nick Trades, welcome. Ramgio, B. Miller, welcome. Justin, thank you for joining as well. Welcome, guys. Magnet Show, welcome. Armand, good evening. Thank you guys for joining. And Hugo, thank you. Hiron, saludos from Punta del Este, Uruguay. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you, brother. Okay, let's get started, guys. So we're gonna do a top down. It's 6:45. We'll get this done by 7 p.m. and then we'll start watching how gold is moving going into 8 p.m. the futures and also Powell's speech. Okay, so if you guys are ready, let's go. See, the 5-minute candles are pushing down right now, so you could possibly be in a trade right now. You could be in a buy, a sell, or on the sidelines. It's not enough evidence for me to just jump in a trade right now. Again, why? Because I haven't done one of my daily routines. I haven't done my top-down analysis. So that's number one, okay? So number one, let's go to the higher time frame. Let's hit the daily. You guys also know that it is December 1st today, okay? So it's a new week. It's a new month. Okay, so now we're going to get a close, and this December candle is going to close the entire 2025, because when we come back after holidays and back into the new year, January is a brand new month and a brand new yearly candle, okay? So you got to understand the importance of December. It's not a month you want to gamble with, okay? Because there could be a lot of volatility. There may or may not be what is known as a Santa Claus rally for the last couple weeks of December. It could be a Grinch comes in and ruins the rally. It could be one of those Decembers, okay? So again, trade proper. Understand if you're reaching goals on the weekly, monthly, yearly, and you're there, don't do anything stupid at the end of the year because it could impact the way how you start your month, your new year, January, February, okay? So first thing is, let's start a top down, okay? So we know that all the way up here, these 3 wicks is the all-time high. Again, I use an orange line on any of my securities. When anything hits an all-time high, it's to represent Donald Trump's makeup on his face, okay? So you can see right here, 4,382 is the all-time high on Forex. We had this question earlier in New York, said, Ron, the numbers are not matching up with my charts. That person was trading in the futures, okay? He was trading with Top Step. So futures is at a different number because it's in the future, right? If you're trading Forex, we're looking at this number, okay? Again, when you're looking at price action, doesn't matter if you're in the futures or Forex, the candlesticks should look very, very similar, okay? So price action, the candlestick should be the patterns you should be recognizing, okay? So right there, when we got to the all-time high, I'm bringing it down to those bodies to identify a zone. The zone that is represented here is the first big push to the all-time high, and that was, you can see it pivoted right back down. It came in there and stopped, okay? So I've acknowledged it, and now I'm stretching it into the future. You can see how close we are to coming back up to the all-time high supply zone. And when it comes up there, is it going to be a double top? There's the one top. It could come up for a second top, and we could literally see that. But we could also see it break with momentum and create a new all-time high, and then we're watching, see, will it close above and retest this, and we're gone. So that's what we have to watch for. We're nowhere near that, but we're keeping an eye on it, okay? So let's just continue to work our way down from this all-time high. It was bar coding, bullish, bullish, and then you had this significant bearish bar right here on October 21. So when I see a structural candle that does some damage and closes below engulfs a lot of candles, this is a candle I'm interested in, and I want to locate points of interest and points of control. How do I do that? Real simple. Grab this Fibonacci tool and go from the opening balance to the closing balance. So you see where that black candle opened and where it closed. Very simple, okay? And now what we're doing is marking up exactly where 50% is. We're cutting it in half. When price gets too high, what do? We cut it. When price gets too low, what do? We cut it, right? If you got to listen to that song in the background, OT Genesis, Young Dolph, Cut It. That's our theme song, okay? So that's what we do here. We cut it. Not only do we cut it, when we cut it, we might leave a little bit above, a little bit below. We might leave something behind, right? So we don't want to leave nothing behind. What we do is we clean it up by adding this box right here. This is called point of control, okay? So you can see I'm utilizing the fib tool. It's the 382 or the 618. And if you have them flipped, maybe you have the 618 above and the 382 below. Regardless, same shit, okay? Doesn't matter. But you see how I figured out that zone? That right there is the point of control of this entire day's candle, okay? And let me show you the magic right now, okay? Ron's not a magician, but I'm going to show you guys some magic. See what I'm doing? I'm stretching it into the future, and you can see when it literally came right back up November 13th, from this day, October 21, that's a long time. That's like 3 weeks. It came, and look at what happened when it came in there. Right into that point of control. Sellers were there. They were pending. They were waiting. They absorbed all of that. They offered that move, and they continued to push it down. Now on that push down, it didn't really break down below here. It didn't break any structure. We got higher low. Why? Because this big bullish candle is holding point of control, continuing forward. But you see what I'm doing now? Stretching right into the future. And look at what we're trading in. Yes, look at Friday, we closed right inside there. Yesterday, we came right to the top. Right to the bottom, we closed right there, and we're below it right now, which could continue to push gold. But you see how we're transacting? We're trading right in this point of control as we're speaking, okay? So continue to stretch it into the future. Now, let's follow the move. That big bearish candle, you can see it kind of made a bear flag right here. So there's your bear flag. I don't see any blue volume closing above. I continue to see it pushing down. So if you want to kind of look at this candle, this is just for education. Normally I wouldn't be doing this, but for you guys, open, close, figure out your 50% right there, cut it, right? And look at then the pullback. Then there's your double bottom. Where does it come right into? Right into, again, the 50% and the point of control of that bar. Stretch it. Look how it came in there and then back down. But this was the leg I was telling about where it didn't break down lower to continue that lower low. It's actually a double bottom right here. One bottom, there's the neckline, come back down, second bottom traditionally has more volume, there's the punch out of there, and then look at where it came into, right up to that zone, protected by the all-time high, they pushed it right back down. I'm missing something, I should be stretching this red box across, and you see that big daily candle officially closed above, that same zone, go green. Look at what I'm doing, guys. If you can't keep up with me, you got to smoke a joint with me. Okay, I'm not condoning smoking weed, but if it's legal in your area, light one up, and then this might make a little bit more sense to you guys, because then you're actually physically focused in what I'm doing and not just worried about is gold a buy or sell right now. I'm trying to teach you how to buy and sell for the rest of your life, not just for the next 5 minutes. Okay, so we're really giving you guys the easiest strategy literally known to man in trading. My 9-year-old, it can destroy all of us. My 9-year-old daughter can clean up the candles. She can clean up the pips. I've never seen a trader like that. She's amazing at playing that game Roblox, and she can destroy these candlesticks, okay? So if our children can learn how to do this, there is no reason why you can't learn how to do this, okay? Just, you got to understand what I'm doing. Just look at how simple it is. And then I can see when it broke down there, did any black volume close below? No, it came right back up. Did it push down? Did any black volume on that bar close below? No, it pushed up. And look at, then it turned to support. And there's that next push. So I'm putting this into the future. If gold ever sells back down there, what do you think I'm doing? If I'm selling down here and coming down there, I'm probably closing a partial of my sell position because it could go right back up, and I could be buying this green box. However, if it breaks, see, I see a break, but if it breaks and actually black volume closes below, then that same zone, I'm flipping it red because I could sell right back down to this yellow line and fill that wick and start dropping where? Right into 50% of that candle right in there. With like, I could literally say that 3,795 right down into there. Okay, that's where the next block is in the market. It's not that hard to figure that out. Okay, so now look at this kind of double bottom. See that wick? And if you locate it, it's this big bullish ignited body right there. And you see how it came right in there, back up, came in there, back up. Couldn't break that resistance, then it came back down. There's our second bottom holding. There was the break, right? And if you want to draw this zone across, you're welcome to. And you can see we're still above this zone currently, okay? I'm not going to use that one because it's too inside. I want to stay with my bigger zones, okay? So everyone follow me right now. And if you see on the daily, we're still big push up, higher high, came down here. We got this push, but didn't break for that new all-time high. So they reduced it back down, but it didn't come down here. So this inside block is holding for this one more push to try and break to get to that all-time high. And you can see we're consolidating in here. So it's kind of 50-50 right now, what we got going on in here. Okay, but if you draw like a trend line starting from up here, you can still see we are technically in a uptrend on the daily. This is our ascending triangle. This is our our resistance that we're trying to break through, and it's struggling a little bit. Okay, so now let's just continue with finalizing Friday's big bullish candle, because it is a nice big bullish candle. It opened, small pullback, closed right near the high. That is one candle. Since it's fresh, last Friday going into the weekend, opening, closing price. Look at what I'm doing. Same shit I'm doing on every single bar, locating 50% and locating Friday's point of control. Are we still holding above it? Technically, yes, we are. Okay, stretch it for the remainder of this week and see if it continues to hold. Okay, now let's get more into analyzing kind of a little yesterday's candle, which we traded in New York. So you remember it was bullish. It opened bullish right at 6 p.m. and then caught that wick and then came back down to the opening price. It flipped, came all the way down. It made a low right into that box, and look at the buyers were right there, and look how it closed. So we closed yesterday as a bear spin top. If this was a 5-minute candle, it's basically 55-45 split, 60-40 maximum. Sellers were in control. Reason being, they closed it a little bit lower than the opening price with black volume to suggest sellers. It's not a good candle to trade off of. It doesn't give us really anything. It's basically like a coin flip. So today, this bar could could technically continue to go back up, or it could sell back down, okay? So let's just follow it. Remember, this candle is young. It just opened up 2 hours ago, okay? But do we have any points of interest right now? Yes, we do. There was a closing price right there, and that's where we opened. So 4,231 is a point of interest. That's our opening and closing price. When it opened, it was initially bullish, where it came up, and we can already spot a high of the day. I'm going to place a purple line at today's high of the day, okay? And 4,336 is our high of the day. When it came up there, big blue candle, they pushed it down and came back to the opening price. So you can still see above us, it's still lower than all of this location. So you see this purple and this red? I'm going to make a deeper red box so we can really be dialed in tonight, okay? So what I'm doing is, you see what I'm just doing there? I'm making this a deeper red box because I can see that's where the volume was on that Friday, and the volume opened there and the volume is below there. We've already retested and it's already pushed down. So if the buyers come back in here, this is not an easy area to continue to break through because it's really a point of control of this bigger zone up here. So sellers are technically in control right now. When they came down to the opening price, they flipped the candle bearish, but we only pushed down to our lowest point, which is 4,225 right there with another purple line. And we got some buyers stepping in with this small doji candle, okay? So we're really not moving anywhere. I guarantee you it's going to open up as we get closer to the futures market and also with Powell speaking. So now we got to kind of think, are we going to maybe later today sell back down? We got to fill our yesterday's wick. Then we're coming into this Friday's point of control. If it comes right there, 4,200 exactly is 50%. A little lower, guys, mark that on your chart, 4,188. And if the sellers break that zone, then look at where we're coming down to. I would target right here. I would place a yellow line right there. Just to let you guys know, that's where a daily candle closed, and that's where bullish Friday opened, that nice big push, okay? So that would be a key area, and then it coincides with our trend line. So if it comes down there, we should see buyers pick it up here, but it will be an interesting area, okay? We could also flip bullish today and break through here. Then we're filling yesterday's fresh wick. So mark yesterday's fresh wick with a yellow line at 4,265, and then you can see if it creates a new higher high, you're kind of inching away to get out of this bearish point of control. And if a daily candle, breaks above here, will it just be an impulse? Will it break and close above? Because if it closes above, you flip that entire red zone back to green. If it pulls back, that's where we could continue buying. So one other thing is, if we do get a break above here, will it fill from this red zone all the way up to this red zone? If you want to measure that move, because it's big, if you get that full imbalance, that's again, we measured it in New York. It's about a $60 move in gold. That's 600 pips, right? Just to fill that imbalance. And you can see how the candles were trading. Big bullish candle broke right through. Bearish candle came right through there. Big bullish candle went right through. And another big bearish candle came right through. So there's not much kind of wicks or anything in the way here. So it could be another just clean break. However, I'm more of a, just trader. I'm happy with if I can get 300 pips. So I'm cutting that thing in half. I could even cut it in half and get 150 pips. So you see how I kind of just cut that in half. And I also have that the yellow line as a point of interest, right? Kind of below 4,300. Okay. And now what we got to do is continue to go on the daily and break this thing down in the 4 hours. So what the 4 hour is going to tell me is how it basically traded earlier today. We can see we're in a 4 hour uptrend. It continued to push up Thursday. There was Friday's big move. We had some pullback Sunday, came back, but look at the wick, and then it came up. Look at what we targeted. The highest point right there was right at Monday when we opened up. It continued to push down, but came back up. Continued today, pushed down, came back up. Now we got 4 hour bodies filling these wicks. So we can see, you see now how we're below this red box, what I placed up here. We've already opened and tested the opening of the candle, and now we're pushing down. So we got some wicks to fill, and these could fill right to the bottom of the red zone. So we could go down as low as 4,215, and then maybe the top of the green zone, 4,207. Then if we start trading into the Friday's point of control, 4,200, 4,197 is a key area. So right now the bearish move is coming down. So we can already see kind of one top where it came up, and now they're pushing it down. So you see, we got a wick to fill, wick to fill, wick to fill, wick to fill. It doesn't have enough momentum to fill those wicks, and then it could bounce back up. And then when we're coming up, we want to see if this purple line will be resistance, this one, or this zone. And then we see, will it be a lower high, and then they'll continue pushing it down? Or will it break for the double top, right? So that's your 4-hour frame, and we're pushing down on the 4-hour. This 4-hour candle just opened an hour ago, okay, at 6 p.m. Our daily candle just opened. So on the hour, you can now see how we were trading today. If you go back earlier this morning, remember we started trading at 6 a.m. We traded 7 a.m., 8 a.m. We took 2 successful trades on gold. And then we waited for NASDAQ and took our other trade. But you can see after the call, we had our PMI manufacturing news at 10, 11 came down, and then noon came back up. But then right there, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and now we're pushing right back down. Okay, so you can see the hourly volume is now getting to this lowest point of the day. See the purple line? I've seen hourly break right there. What happened? It went right back up. Hourly break right there. Did it close below? No, went back up. There was 2 impulse moves on hourly, back up. There was another impulse. So we haven't had any hourly black volume close below this purple line in a long time. This might be our first bar that closes below here today. So again, if we get a nice push down, what I would be doing if I was an hourly trader is watch hourly volume if it closes below there. Because if it does, any one of these points, this purple line, this yellow line, or the zone, if it's coming back up with buyers, you could literally look to sell the retest and continue to push down into that Friday's big green zone. Okay, so it's still bearish on these legs pushing down, but overall still we got to respect this green zone because that's where the buyers took it back up. Okay, we haven't retraced this whole move completely. Okay, so if I now go into 5 minutes, this is what our 5-minute candles are doing. Okay, so they're in a downtrend. You can see up here. That was kind of a fake out right there. It came back down. There was impulse. I don't see any blue volume above there. If I was to draw like a 5-minute trend line, I can see we are kind of still pushing down to the downside. We made that lower low, pulled back right there, lower high, broke, closed below. Now they're pushing it down. So you see now the volume is really picking up. Look at the size of the candles. They're much larger than these. Okay, so that's telling me we're getting a little bit more volatility in the market, a little bit more volume. And look at these 5-minute candles. Look at wick. We haven't had so what I'm going to do is I'm going to target this green zone right here, and we're still green. You guys see what I just did there? Okay, look at what I did. Go back here. I can see right now, this was 930, 940 when gold sold off. Look at that purple line. So it broke. Is there any black volume below there? No. So see what I just did? I just brought that green zone across and I stopped it right at those bodies. I'm carrying it forward. I see another impulse break, no volume close below there. I see right now, as I just moved it into what we're trading right now, I see it came down, big bullish candle coming back up. Again, this was a black candle that stopped right there and going back up. So you guys see literally where we are kind of consolidating in between this yellow line and at the top of this green zone right now. So if I make this zone neutral, we're going to continue to understand who is accumulating more. Obviously, gold is not going to trade here all night tonight. It is going to make possibly an attempt to break below the lowest point of the day, but we got to watch. It's going to be a fake out. But if we get our first black candle closing below here, it's significant because we haven't had one since 9:30 a.m. So it might be our first one closes below. If it comes back to retest, we might be looking to sell that and continue to push it down. Okay. If we're looking for buys, at least we got to look above this yellow line, and then we still have a trend resistance in this red box. So if we're buying, we got to be kind of sure that's coming up strong here and respecting this, because look how much we got to fight against breaking out of here. We got to fight that trend line, fight this big red zone, and even if we break it, it could get sold back down. So let's continue to watch what's happening here. So this bar is closing right now in 4 seconds. I'm going to take a look at my spreads right now. 705. Okay, my spread is one pip right now. One. Not bad for this time. Okay, and what I'm also going to add is the daily bar indicator. Okay, so this is our SST daily bar indicator. There's today's opening price. 4,231, this yellow line. We were originally bullish when it came up to the highest point of the day, and they pushed it down back to the opening price. We flipped. This is where we're trading right now at the lowest point of the day, and you can see we've got a little wick represented by this bullish candle coming up right now. Okay, so you may be in a trade right now. You could be waiting, or we could watch what's happening, right? So thanks everyone. We have 300 viewers on YouTube. Guys, leave us a like, please. It helps us get across, you know, the world and find more traders that are looking to trade at all continents. So you guys help by hitting the like button. Also subscribe to the channel, guys. I promise you, this is a subscribe that you're gonna actually benefit from. We're not just one of those YouTube channels. We want to subscribe and this and that, but we're here once a day, even look 2 times a day with you guys. So we're working with you guys hard here. But you know, our mission is to teach you how to trade. It might be not your style, okay, but I can switch to whatever style you like. This is more intraday scalping, faster style trading. If you want to learn swing trading, I can teach that, no problem. But you got to come to the session. The title will be swing trading. You know, we're not going to be scalping, but we're going to be doing analysis, a top down from the monthly. Take our time, bring it down to the weekly, come down to the daily, and we will be trading 4-hour candles as if they're 5-minute candles. So we have to monitor those for multiple days. And then we can get back on the call and review, and it will be just strictly for swing trading, okay? But we can't get on a swing trading call, then everyone's asking to scalp, or we're scalping and then we're going, it's no one is focused, and it's confusing for myself and probably going to be confusing for yourself. So in the schedule, you may start to see a swing trading education live trading session. And if that's what your cup of tea, join us. If you're not a swing trader, you can still join us and learn all about patterns, candlesticks, because all candlesticks have the same characteristics. So I can definitely show you guys how to swing trade. And I'm a swing trader myself, but you gotta be an all-around trader, okay? I can swing trade with the best of them. I can scalp with the best of them. I can invest with the best of them. I can literally, I'm confident I can do anything in these markets, as you guys will be too. It's not arrogance. It's not being cocky. It's being confident that you've educated yourself on all aspects of the market. So like when we get into stock and options, you'll feel confident that you can trade stock and options. You'll feel confident going to the futures market, Forex market. You'll feel confident if you want to be a swing trader this week, or you want to kind of scalp this week. You will be confident to do whatever you want. It's kind of like martial arts. You can learn all type of martial arts. You can learn jiu-jitsu, you can learn Muay Thai, you can learn boxing, you can learn grappling. You know, like, you got to be an all-around MMA athlete. You can't just be a striker, because if a wrestler gets you down on the ground, you're done, right? So you got to be able to do everything. You got to be versatile as a trader. So no problem teaching it, guys, but those calls, you got to be focused on learning swing trading, okay? So right now we've got a 5-minute break, right? We've had a lot of 5-minute breaks below here, but we haven't had one bar close below. So let's see, is this going to be another fake out, or is it going to be a candle closing 60 seconds? So we're already broke and it's coming right back up. But let's see, this might be our first bar that closes bearish below here. You need the link, Lisa, 1 second. Lisa, tell me if that link works in the Zoom chat. Guys, cheers to everybody. Salut, gazur. I'm having a little a little rum with a splash of ginger right now for our late night session. So salute to everyone. And let's see where this candle is now closing. Gazur. Okay, here we go, guys. So let's focus in. Is this going to be our first bar that closes below? Okay, it technically did. Okay, so there right away it carried the momentum off on the next bar and pushing down. So I'm just going to flip this green zone red momentarily. Okay, so it could continue to fall, and look at all of the wicks it's got to fill behind. Like, there's a lot of wicks right there, and then those equal bottom lows are right there, okay? So if it continues to push down, that's what we're targeting, 42.21 and down into, I'm going to place a white line there because I know that that's deeper and that's an hourly level, okay? But now it's pushing down. So have I got a retest? No. Okay, look at the volatility now. That's why I said this is now a retest. So you see how it was coming down bearish? And look how it just exploded back up bullish. Okay, so let's watch this now, because now it's transacting with a shit ton of orders. Okay, did you see how it came down bearish and boom, it just flipped up blue? Okay, so let's watch this now. Will it continue to close up here, or are sellers gonna really push all of this buying volume down? So if you're not in a trade, this is like a sports game. This is where the sports game gets very interesting. So this is where we got to follow this bar, because that's a strong statement candle by the buyers as soon as it broke today's low. That's not a Mickey Mouse candle. It was trading right there. And if you sold, boom, you see how it goes right back up? But let's follow this volume. Will it close above here? Because if it does, then I see they kind of spike the liquidity down low day. Maybe they close it back above here. Maybe we'll get a second bottom. We can buy and take it, advance it up to this yellow line back to the opening price. But if sellers can, be there offering and cool this candle down, it probably has more room that it wants to sell off, okay? And it's still early. It's only 7:12 p.m. Kevin, that was Borg's buying. That's why it came up like that. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, look at that. So they've kind of rejected that move, and it didn't create a new higher high. So focus on your wicks as well. Okay, so you see that big bullish candle? Did it fill that wick? And no, it didn't actually. So it's a lower high. They're pushing it down. But as it came back down here, it's refueling itself back up with buyers. So can this candle come back up to its wick and produce a new high and maybe start to engage in trading at this point of interest? 4227 right there where that body closed. There was already a retest that they pushed it down. So that is like a resistance on the 5 minutes. So again, guys, I'm not in a trade right now. I'm just going to add my 9 EMA. So we're continuing to be below the 9 EMA. And the 200 EMA is a purple line. It's all the way here, right at our trend line. Okay. So we're also below the 200 and we're below the 9 EMA. So if we're buying, you got to understand you're still counter trading, but you could be buying where they just spiked the lowest point of the day. It's still a risky buy. This is the first bottom coming out of here. Maybe a second bottom would be better to buy. However, I want to just see where this candle is going to close. And unfortunately, if you sold this lowest point of the day, you're in drawdown. You got to learn from that, okay? Remember, you don't always want to sell at the lowest points, especially at low points of the day. It's best to sell at the highest point of the day, right? So you got to learn to kind of, control yourself there. I know it's most traders, FOMO, fear of missing out, and want to get in, but you got to be very disciplined to understand if it takes you a couple candles to figure what's going on, take your time. Otherwise, use what I always say, a feeler trade. Okay, if you're speculating, you want to go into a sell at the lowest point of the day, it doesn't hurt to go the smallest size possible, figure things out, get your feet wet. If that goes against you, it's just a minimal loss. You can still live to trade, continue to trade without kind of affecting your account balance, without affecting your psychology. Maybe you see what you need to see and then you get out with a minimal loss. Okay, it's kind of like gaining a little bit of intelligence prior to taking the actual trade. Okay, some traders can sit back and wait, like myself. Some traders need to get emotionally involved and get their blood flowing when they're in a trade, so everyone is different. You got to figure out what style trader you are. Okay, so this bar is closing now in 8 seconds. So again, if it closes above this red box, I'm going to flip it momentarily green. Okay, so it did close above. So I see that they took out the lowest point of the day so far, and it came right back up bullish. Okay, so if there's sellers now, let's see if they push it back down. However, the buyers could be holding to break this resistance and then fill to these bodies and those wicks and maybe to that daily point of interest. So you can see how the candle has already kind of opened. It's had a shallow pullback. It hasn't came deep down into at least 50% of that bullish candle right there. That's a nice order, 4,225 and 75 cents, if it can get all the way down there. But right now it's a hammer candle that looks like it impulsively wants to break out and fill these wicks and start to test up in this area. Okay, so if you're going to take this is also an impulse trade, right? because it's impulsively breaking above here without any closing volume above here. So that is a risky trade if you're going to take it, but it could be building off of this leg to continue to break. Maybe its neckline is more up here and not right here. However, if you're still waiting, you could be waiting to see if it gets rejected and look for a pullback buy at this red line. That's exactly 50% of that bullish candle, or all the way back down at the purple line at the lowest point of the day, and that would be technically a double bottom. See now how it came down bearish? Now it's testing the top of that green box, and we do have a wick currently there. So it's showing me it just pended with, it transacted, it executed a few of those orders, and we got this kind of spin top candle right inside here. So I could lower this consolidated zone and really kind of box it in right here. And this is where the volume is now concentrated, right inside here. Okay, so it's still inside here. So you see, if you bought again and you bid, unfortunately you bid on that impulse. I never bought, I'm still waiting. Now it's actually retesting the 50%, the cut line of that previous bullish candle. Now, did it pick up more pending orders to represent this? Is this actually going to be a strong bullish candle, or is it just going to be nothing? It's going to be a dud. Okay, so it came down to 50%, picked up some orders. Now, it could come back up to the opening price and flip bullish and start to break. But I also look at how much time is left on the candle. So there's 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So sometimes when it's getting near the end of the candle, it's kind of, exhausted itself. Then I might have to wait for the next bar. That's another thing. I don't know if a lot of you guys notice what I do. Sometimes if I go into impulse, it might be the first 1 minute of a 5 minute candle, because I know I have 4 minutes to build. But when it starts getting down to the last 90 seconds, last minute, you see I kind of taper off. I don't like to trade it because it's already kind of fizzled off. You guys know what I mean by that? You guys will learn if you guys kind of focus in on what I'm doing. I try to explain it as best as I can. It is live, but I love live play-by-play trading. Live trading is the best education. I hate kind of coming in the markets and saying, I show you a chart and say, I did this today, I did that. It's not the same. It's not the same emotions. There's a lot of traders that do it like that. Respect to them if that's how they do it. But I want you guys to actually go through with what I'm going through, right? So you see how I held off buying, and then you see now the big bearish candle. And then what I see is we're still kind of barcoding in here. Bearish, bullish, bearish. So those sellers could come back down and close below here, and I want to sell, continue selling down maybe. And then they faked out those buyers up there. So let's get ready. This could maybe continue come down here and continue. We have a big bearish candle on the daily, could continue to take this and start dropping down, okay? So looks like they kind of faked out some buyers up there, and those buyers are trapped up there now. Aslan, give you $5,000. I would love to. I would love to. But there's probably a lot of people in line for that money. Plus, I'm not a charity here. No one gave me $5,000 when I was down. So, unfortunately, you got to work for it, brother. You got to work hard at it. Giving you a free education to earn so you can make $5,000. Okay, so let's watch this last 30 seconds. Look, it's a big bearish candle. Will it engulf that bullish one? Will it close below there? Will we flip this green box back to red? Maybe we'll get one more continuous leg pushing down, or our buyer's going to step in and push it right back up. So we have to be careful there too, because there could be buyers stepping in too. Okay, so look at this nasty push coming down, engulfing right now. Get ready, guys. Okay, and we're moving into 720. So we're not at 730 yet. Did it close below the green zone? Yes. Okay, watch. Short wicks, right? So open bearish ignited. Right away it's pushing down. Will it flip up? No, it didn't. Okay, so I kind of missed it. I missed it. So I kind of got to wait for it to maybe possibly come back up and retest this green to red zone. What I'm doing, man, I missed it. It was an ignited bearish bar. You had to sell it right away, basically. If you did, congrats. I was gonna pull the trigger, but I didn't. Okay, so now, again, do I just want to go in and sell the lowest point? No, I got to kind of maybe wait and watch what's happening. I know it's a hanging man, so I know it opened bearish ignited. So buyers are buying up the tail right now and bringing it up. So will it actually come in to retest this location up here, the candle has to flip blue and come back in here, or is it still holding its bearish head? So if it comes back up, I might be able to sell its next leg coming down. However, it's still pushing down near the lowest point. So you got to kind of ask yourself, do you want to pull the trigger now or should we wait? Okay. Again, I'm not a fan of always buying the lows and, you know, like missing out, because I know it could come back down, back up and retest this location. So it's just a matter of patience, right? And I know I always get burned when I sell the lows or I buy the highs. So it's kind of like habit for all traders. So this is a habit that's hard to learn, is sit back, relax, and let's see if we can sell at a premium area back down like this. Okay, now you see how it's coming right back up, but it's still holding its ignited head. It hasn't flipped yet. So you can still see how strong the sellers are at the opening balance of this candle. Wow, that's a big push down, okay? But all of this happened because, let's learn together, where they trapped those buyers up there, okay? Remember that nice big bullish candle? I told you that was a significant candle to watch. And this was the kind of setup we had earlier in New York, where it was a big fake out and a bearish engulfing candle, and I sold in New York this candle, and it went down 60 pips. This one, man, I should have pulled the trigger. Again, those are those woulda, shoulda, couldas. I got to measure it now just mentally to know how big this candle was. About 25 pips, okay? So it could definitely maybe rotate back up, but you got to kind of swallow the pill. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. We got to continue to wait it out. Can you expect a little buy? If you're buying, you're one of these blue candles, it could be a quick buy and you might have to get out because it could kind of come tumbling back down. So if you're buying, you're counter trading the overall move. That's where you got to have counter trading rules. You got to understand how to pip and dip, or if it goes in profit 20, 30 pips, you should be taking your stop loss, protecting yourself and going to break even because it could come right back down. Okay, so now you see the buyers pushing it. As soon as we broke that red line I kind of put right at these wicks right over here. So it filled those. It didn't fill down to the white line. So we still have a little bit of support and the buyers are pushing it back up. So this candle now is closing in 90 seconds. Again, I'm going to follow into the close. If this candle closes like this, I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to figure out the point of control of this candle because it could come up blue, get rejected, and it maybe continue pushing down. But ultimately, the best kind of retest is this red zone. We haven't retested it as of yet. End of the time is 7:23 p.m. Eastern, okay? So we still have a lot of time. We still haven't even hit the futures. We know that Powell is speaking at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. Okay, so there's the big wick getting rejected, coming back up. But notice that bearish head. That's what we call a hanging man candle, okay? So it's still holding with 45 seconds to go. Have you guys noticed, has this candle flipped bullish yet? Not yet. So you can still see how powerful that opening balance is with sellers. Protected it for almost the full 5 minutes, okay? So we should see a little bit of a blue candle opening following the momentum of that wick right now, okay? So there's the close. Should see a blue candle, right? And we should see maybe if it can push back up and retest this location. If the sellers can hold this thing down, they could continue to sell down and fill that wick and drop even further. So I'm still waiting for that retest to come in here. Still not there. There is a blue candle, okay? So there is something printing off of that return of that wick. So the momentum carried into the open of this candle. It is blue, but, you know, is it coming into retest this location? Or these sellers that held that opening balance, again, they're holding the resistance and keeping this volume down to continue to push this thing down. So this is the first 40 seconds. Now it's coming up bullish. Okay, so right away when it came up bullish there, see that quick little rejection. So it just got that wick. Now it's refueling itself, coming back up. This is the actual physical retest of the purple line that was today's low that broke. This was the volume, how low it went, and now it's retesting back at today's right there. So it just got rejected. So let's see if they flip this candle back bearish and to push down. Then I might continue to sell with this. However, it's still refueling itself and coming right back up, testing that purple line. If it comes a little further, then we're trading right into that red zone, and there's your kind of 9 EMA and maybe 50% of that zone right in there if it has to go a little higher. But you see that purple line is still technically holding, and they've rejected it a second time now. So it's kind of refueling itself again. Let's see what happens if there's a third attempt, or are these sellers offered 2 times up there and they're ready to flip this candle bearish. If that's the case, maybe I'm going to sell down with this. Okay, I'm going to sell down with the shooting star. I'm going to place my stop loss like above those wicks, above that red line, and I'm looking to fill the wick and come down to that white line. The white line is to fill these 2 prior wicks right there. So that's 9:40 a.m.'s low and also 10:20 a.m.'s low earlier this morning. So I'm going to sell to see if we can continue to push down and fill that wick and get down to that white line, maybe break for a new low down in there, okay? So I want to continue to sell with this. There was volume that closed below. It came right back up. It retested that purple line 2 times, and then when it officially broke, that's when I went in to sell. My stop loss, I could go a little tighter just above that 90 EMA, above that red point of control. However, I'm giving it more room to breathe because I know it's the futures and there's more volatility, and we're going into 730. So I'm just keeping my stop loss above that previous wicks right there where there was that bullish fake out right there, okay? And then if it can start pushing down into here, I'm going to start reducing my risk, okay? So I want to see if the daily candle can continue to absorb buyers and continue to push down into here, okay? So I'm in a sell on gold. I initiated the sell at 4,223. And then I count in my head, how many times is it retesting this purple line? So it's coming up, getting rejected, coming up, getting rejected. If volume closes above, then it might have some initial momentum to cut through this red zone, but that's why I'm relying on the red zone. That's why my stop loss is placed above it, okay? So this is where we could, create a bearish flag down in here, keep volume below here so that we can naturally continue to bid down in here and continue to drop gold. But 7:30, it's a nasty time because you get a new 30-minute candle approaching in the markets, and it can kind of switch up the momentum, okay? So now it's retesting inside the red zone. There's some sellers initially there with 60 seconds to go. Let's see if they can push this blue volume back down below this purple line. If this blue candle kind of closes above this red zone, I got to go through my motions and flip it green. And then you can notice that the next bar could open blue and then fill and then attack my stop loss. And then I'm out of the trade. Then I take the loss because I don't want to be still in the trade if it can come all the way up to the opening balance and higher. Okay, that's as much risk as I'm giving it and resistance. I'm seeing if the sellers are in this red zone. If not, I want to be protected up there. So there they are. They're there. There's the big rejection, but it's going to close in 30 seconds. So we're going to watch now a big volatile candle going into the close, going into 7:30. So this is going to be a big fight between the buyers and sellers on the close of this candle. Okay, there's going to be increased volatility, guys. Just so you guys know. And we have news at 8 p.m. Powell is initiating his speech, and also the futures market is also opening up in 30 minutes. Okay, so we closed inside, still in the red zone. Now they're opening 7:30 with a bearish candle coming down. So see how that blue candle, I give it respect because it closed back above that purple line. So sellers really got to continue working down this area. Okay, as it comes down, it could get a higher low wick and start to transact back inside here, okay? So that candle did close inside above the purple line. I'm still respecting the buyers are here, but we're still transacting inside this red block here, okay? And this is 7:30, okay? So this is a new 30-minute candle. It's also going to add more momentum, more volume, more volatility into the market, okay? Anytime a new 30-minute candle anytime a new hourly candle opens up, you got to understand it's a much higher time frame than just a single 5-minute candle. So it adds that additional volatility inside of it, okay? So it's not best practice to take a trade right prior to like a 30-minute candle opening or an hourly candle. I kind of went in a little earlier at 7:26 on this candle. So, you know, it's kind of going against me right now. But let's see what happens at this resistance right here. Is audio okay? Can you guys hear me? Everything good? I thought I lost you guys for a second. All good? Okay. Sorry, I thought I lost YouTube there for a second. Okay, so you see we're transacting at the lowest point of the day. It's already created one bottom. I want to see if it's going to have one more leg to push down with sellers, you know, to continue to get it down below here and get that next extended lower low leg pushing. But buyers are strong here. They're here, you know, they're transacting, but we still have some sellers present, okay? So there's still 3 more minutes to go on this candle. You can see the big fight there. So sellers are still here in our red zone, right? They're still here offering. So we just got to continue to push down and get black volume to close back below this purple line. And then maybe we can work our way continuously going down. But there is buyers every time we get back down to this purple line. So if you're in a buy, it could be a good opportunity also to look for buys. However, you know, you guys got to understand my psychology. I'm trying to continue to push down, get volume below here, and push this thing maybe deeper down into here. But the trade is in drawdown. There is buyers, and it's going against me currently right now. But I believe this big fight right over here by this purple line is going to dictate where this trade goes in the next little bit, okay? So we've transacted through that red block, and you can see technically there's more sellers than there is current buyers when it's trading inside here. But closing price determines everything. So you see when we came down again, that was a beautiful bearish bar, but those buyers are bringing it right back up. So this is a tough little battle right here between both buyers and sellers. So now, technically, buyers are kind of in control of this zone right now, but the closing price will dictate ultimately whether I flip it green, I keep it red, or we're still trading inside here, right? 90 seconds to go. And at this point, sometimes you just gotta trust your zones. That's what you gotta do. If you take a trade and it kind of goes in drawdown, all you can do is trust your zone, trust your stop loss is not over leveraged. Like if I get stopped out, I'm not blowing my account. I lose, yes, I take an L, but I'm not giving everything I earned today back to the markets. You know, I'm giving it some room to breathe. If it has to get more sellers, then the market has to come back up to find those offers. If it can continue to push down with those, that's what I'm looking for. Do I want it to come up here? No. I would rather when it broke down to just start breaking down. Sometimes trades have to come up again and test some levels, okay? But if you're not over leveraged, then you should be able to withstand some drawdown. Now here's the ultimate close in 20 seconds. And sometimes if I don't like what I see, I might exit and close the trade early without it even coming and hitting my stop loss. Like if I don't like how it's trading right now, I might exit the trade, realize the loss, and not let it come to my stop loss. But I've got to watch where it closes. So we're still in the red zone, okay? So technically it did not close above, okay? So if the sellers are here, they got to be here. They got to be here right now to push this bar down, to come down. Like they got to be present right now. So they are here. They are present. You see how they pushed it down? But as soon as it came down, found some buyers coming right back up. Now we're getting more volume to continue to push down, okay? So again, but against me, I've got a higher low, and a higher low. So there is buyers, right? So again, we're still transacting in this red zone. So there is still sellers here, but there's more pending buy orders getting executed, We have not closed blue above it yet. So can the sellers, one more attempt, bring it back down and physically close it below this purple line to initiate that next sell leg going down? Or are buyers protecting this higher low and going to flip this thing back up? So it's at a very important area. We got tweezer tops already established right at the top of the red box. So naturally, we got to see if the sellers can push this thing down. I'm in a sell, sorry guys, yeah, but if you want to continue to buy this leg, you're welcome to buy. And I'll provide you guys my liquidity, because then I'll be getting stopped out of here, and you can literally see it's filling those wicks, and I want out of this trade. So if you're in buys, you're coming after Uncle Ron's stop loss up here. Okay. And then in 24 minutes, we got futures market and Powell speaking. Okay, so our sellers are present, right? But they're not really, pushing this thing down with volume. Every time it comes down, those buyers are still there holding it up. But we're still transacting in this red zone, so I still consider it to be a bearish point of control. But right now, as I said that, it flipped blue. So this is where now you get an impulse move coming back up, right? And then just above is where we have those previous wicks. So if it wants to fill up there, that's where I have my kind of stop loss right above those wicks up there, okay? So it was kind of an impulse, spin top candle, closing in 90 seconds. Again, where will this volume close? So you remember it opened bearish, came down, came back up, and we're right back at the opening balance of this candle. So again, if it closes blue right above this red zone, I'm technically gonna flip it green to represent that this is now buyers are controlling this block right here, this location. But if it closes black still inside here, I still got to give it to the sellers are still here, right? But there is higher highs and higher lows. So it is technically pushing up on a leg coming up. So we got to kind of see if the sellers are here to push it one more time down. If not, you can see the next bar is going to be bullish, possibly coming to fill up to this red line. And then that's where I'm getting taken out up there. So I'm going to see, can I give it some room to breathe to continue to push down? I might also exit it manually if I kind of don't like what I'm seeing right now. But let's see, let's let it play out, see what happens here. Low time frame buy? Absolutely. If you're in buys, yeah, low time frame are buys. But, we got to let the candle close. It ain't over until the fat lady sings, is what they say. Okay, so that was a big rejection on sellers. Can they engulf, take out that previous bullish bar, maybe have one more bar coming down? Man, so it's nasty with those buyers down there. Every time it comes down, it's picking up buyers. And you see we're still consolidating in this red zone. So that bearish candle closed, didn't engulf, closed right where that basic bar opened. We opened bullish right now. So we still have our red cut line right there. So we're still trading in the red zone. That was a big rejection by the sellers there to prevent it from closing above this zone and pushing higher. So now those sellers got to kind of be right here, right at 50% of that previous red candle, like right there, and continue to keep this ignited bar down. Otherwise, this is what happens, right? You're going to get this bullish explosion breaking out of here. Okay, so this is where, guys, I'll verbally let you guys know as soon as I get stopped out against this big bullish candle. That was a good rejection on sellers, but you see how this candle opened ignited strong. It just opened with so much momentum that the sellers did not even have momentum to push this thing down. So strong, strong buyers. Very strong. I'll verbally let you guys know as soon as I get tapped out. They didn't get me there. Almost, okay? So my stop is just above that wick there. Okay, there's a good rejection there. I'm still in it. I'm still holding it, okay? I'll verbally let you guys know as soon as I get tapped out. And for buyers too, if this candle closes above this red box, we flip it green, okay? There's a good solid rejection there, okay? I'm still in it, I'm still holding it. And remember how strong and bullish this candle opens, okay? So it's still holding that ignited bottom. It's refueling itself to come back up there. So this is going to be a significant candle closing. Jerome Powell is not speaking yet. 8 p.m. he speaks. Right when the futures market opens up, he's scheduled to speak. Holy shit, this candle has a lot of volatility in it. My goodness. Spreads are jumping. This candle is moving like crazy. Okay, so we'll figure out where this thing closes in 2.5 minutes. But this is a wild bar. Okay, there is a significant rejection up there, but we still have this open, strong body, bullish ignited body. If the sellers can reject this move and turn this candle back down bearish, it could have that significant selling leg pushing down on the next bar. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm still in this, and there is strong buyers bringing it right back up. So this is going to dictate momentum where we move forward in the next little bit. It's going to be the close of this candle. Man, is it ever strong. Okay, I got stopped out there. They got me. Okay, so I took an L. Got to refocus now. See what's going on now. Okay, so this is a solid bottom now, right there. So that bottom right there, 4,221 tonight, is a good bottom coming back up. It is coming back up bullish, but the next leg could come back down. But down in here, if you're looking for like a double bottom buy, I would locate this area, make it green. What I would do is this. Get rid of this inside box, eliminate this now. It's no longer relevant. And I would be focusing on this zone right here. And this neckline, if it can continue push up, you're looking at that opening balance. However, if it comes back down with that next leg, then you gotta assume that there's buyers here, okay? See how it came down, all of this one leg down, coming right back up. If it comes back down, you're looking for double bottom in there. That could be that second leg with more momentum that looks like it wants to maybe continue to break to upside. That could be coming in around 8 p.m. during the futures market. But right now, very bullish. So if you guys were in those buys, congrats. You guys went against me. You guys got my liquidity. I give it up to you guys. That's respect. That's how trading works. Sometimes, you know, you win, you lose. But that bar physically closed above this wick, this wick. So what I would do is just move this red line down to about represent 50% of it. What you could also do is figure out the point of control. If you like that bullish candle for continuous trading, that was a very bullish open. So you remember how strong that bullish candle opened, representing 0.5 right there. If it pulls back, we could maybe look to continue to buy with this trend. However, it's getting very close to 8 p.m. and Powell's speech. So, you know, we got to also acknowledge that in the next 15 minutes, there's going to be some significant news and an exchange opening up. I don't like the spreads right now either. 1.5 to 2.0 is a very high spread. So, you know, I got to wait for these spreads to kind of settle down a little bit. Okay, so the trade is bullish right now. It's going here. So I could look to buy a pullback here, buy a pullback down in here. Again, do I want to buy this high? Nope. So I got to wait patiently for maybe a pullback down in here or down in here. But I also got to know in the next 12 minutes, exchange is opening up, futures, and also this news, guys, with Mr. Powell coming in at 8 p.m. right here. Fed Chair Powell speaks. So he'll be speaking at the Stanford University, okay? I don't know what he's going to be speaking about, but he will be speaking, taking questions from the audience as well. If he mentions anything about monetary policy, it could directly impact the security we're trading, okay? So you got to be very careful in the next little bit. Dave, I need to change my battery of the fire alarm. Why do you say that? Is there a fire alarm going off? So sellers were a little higher. They're still here. You know, it's not the greatest volume. I'm being honest. Even both sides for selling and buying, it's not the greatest here. So maybe we got to wait for this stuff to open up a little bit. There's gonna be a big opening when it comes to 8 p.m. Okay, but I just don't like the spreads right now. For myself personally, too high at this point. Going to get rid of this. We're going to focus on bigger zones here. Man, if it sells all back down, see, sometimes the market plays games. But we got to continue staying focused and watch what's happening in here. So anywhere inside this, I don't want to participate in this trading in this whole area, like right in here. So I'm going to kind of make this neutral for the rest of today's call because we're at the opening balance right there. We're just playing going up, going down, going up, going down inside here. So I'm going to focus again. What's going on at this purple line again, and what will happen at this opening balance. And it's 7:50, 10 more minutes. Okay, so you see some barcoding, bullish, bearish, bullish, okay? You can see that the candles are getting a little larger in size. If we measure like these last candles, the volume is about 30 to 40 pips. Okay, so you can start to see we're getting closer to futures exchange opening up. See the volume now is getting a little larger in these candles. Again, it's trading real choppy, you know, so even if you're in buys, you know, you could get frustrated. It's not breaking above here. Also in selling, you could get frustrated. That's not breaking down below here. So this is what the market wants. It wants to frustrate us. It wants to accumulate buyers, accumulate sellers, continue to grab liquidity, hit our stop losses up here, hit our stop losses down here, and the market really isn't moving anywhere. So, you know, that's why it's a good indication in situations like this. When you see the market trading like this, volume-wise, whether it's Tokyo, whether it's London, New York, then this is where I start to say, reduce your sizing, use feeler trades until you start to see what the market decides to do. Yes, you might take a loss, okay, just like I did, but it can be more of a controlled loss, okay? That's what, you know, can take you to the next level, understanding that concept. Some traders understand that, some traders don't understand that, okay? You don't have to engage in this volume with your regular trading sizes, okay? If you want to trade and you notice it's not really moving anywhere and it's just causing chaos between the buyers and sellers and it's ranging, use a small trade. Whether you want to buy or sell, use a small size and figure it out. If you get stopped out, it's a minimal loss. It's not enough to maybe cause you to lose your mind, lose your account, revenge trade. Yes, you get stopped out. I understand that. It sucks. It sucks. Getting stopped out in trading sucks. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know that it's the worst feeling, but there's ways how you can overcome a loss. You gotta have some sort of kind of edge when you get stopped out, okay? Some traders have a different type of edge when they get stopped out. Some traders don't share it with others because they don't trade live and they don't take losses. And then they'll just show you their winning trades once a week on YouTube and say, just do this and you can do this. No, well, I go through the motions with you, whether it's a winning trade, whether it's a losing trade, you know. So I got stopped out right there. I was, above, and then now it's coming right back down to, does that mean, do I just slam it right now with a sell? No, I got to continue to wait for confirmations, okay? Because I know it could just come down here, and again, buyers could bring it right back up. Has the sellers closed it below this green zone to suggest that it's going to continue to push down? Not yet, okay? So, yes, my stop got hit. But you can see I was just in this range trading, but it's continued to move back down. So if you were in buys, again, did you do anything up there at this location, you know, at 50% of that bearish bar? Because if you didn't, unfortunately, it's coming right back down. Okay, so, and now look at when they're bringing it back down to the lowest point of the day with 6.5 minutes to go where the futures market is opening up. So either we're going to continue to get that selling pressure pushing down, which I originally wanted, but maybe there was just this little dead cat bounce, trap those buyers, and now it's going to continue to push down with that. I could maybe continue to push down with this volume and continue to sell with it. Or if I do that, I might get faked out again, and then it's another bullish move coming back up. So I got to be patient here. Got to watch how this plays out. And it sucks not being in this. You know, I want to be, but woulda, shoulda, coulda. Shit happens, right? Emmanuel, you see an MJ jersey? I've got MJ jersey and a Kobe jersey. LeBron is not, he doesn't qualify in my books. I grew up in the 90s, in the early 2000s. LeBron just doesn't cut it for me. I'm sorry. I'm one of those LeBron haters. It's only about Michael Jordan, Kobe, Allen Iverson, if I got to put a third in there. But nah, LeBron isn't even in my top 5. Too much of a baby. Yeah, Patrick Waugh jersey is behind me. It's signed. Both of those jerseys are signed. I got them signed when I was really, really young. Yeah, I was at the Bell Center in Montreal when I was 12 years old, and my dad took me real early to the game, and I threw that jersey to Patrick Waugh, and he signed it with a blue marker, and it's right there. Yeah, Big Habs fan over here. I wish he was going to become the head coach of Montreal. Then we would have won some more Stanley Cups. But he eventually went to Colorado and won a lot of championships in Colorado. Okay, but here we go. Okay, so we're still kind of trading inside this zone. Haven't really moved out of this location. It's frustrating trading in this area. I understand. So best we be patient. Yeah, it could go up. It's building right back up. So you see it tapped into that green zone, coming back up. So we need a nice bullish candle to close above this structure right here. Definitely could continue to test the opening balance. Then your daily candle could be a spin top and flip and start to fill this wick. And that's going right into COMEX, or not COMEX, I'm sorry, Futures Market Open Exchange, and also Powell with his speech. Is he set to speak right away at 8 p.m.? I have no idea. Sometimes they're delayed. But regardless, whether he's speaking or not, right at 8 p.m., we do have the futures market that opens up. So that's one thing we do got to watch for. So there hasn't been a blue candle closing above 50% here. There's been that test rate, impulse right there. We're testing right here again. With 2.5 minutes to go, I'm not going to trade this candle regardless what happens because it's too close to going into futures and Powell's speech. Okay, so if you are in a trade, just be prepared for a little bit of volatility. Okay, and if you're looking to get into a trade, maybe let's continue to watch where they close this bullish candle. If in fact it closes back above here, are they going to reject it down? There could be some wild candles opening up in the next 2 minutes. Okay. So it's still holding strong down in here. Hasn't really pushed when it came down to the low of the day. It's still holding strong. Buyers are still there holding it up. Tough Tokyo session today, maybe starting the Monday. Tokyos have been really good as of late, some nice moves. Today is quite the chop session. Yesterday was good. Oh, Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday nights are explosive. Maybe we can add a Sunday night session. Who knows? Sunday from 6 to 8. Okay, so again, look at that nasty rejection right with 55 seconds. So I like if I was a buyer, I would be getting frustrated with that. Okay, so you got to understand both sides are getting frustrated. Whether you're a seller, like a seller, that was a nice bearish candle, continued to advance down and then came right back up. So sellers are getting frustrated. That was a beautiful candle coming up and they've rejected it back down. So whether you're in a buy or sell, I'm telling you, both sides are getting frustrated here. Okay, this is not easy to trade this stuff. It's really not. Unless you're just trading an individual candle and you're getting in and out on that buy, you're getting in and out on that sell, and you're getting in and out. I don't know if everyone's trading like that today. So this is frustrating for both sides, okay? And now it's going to get even more volatile leading in the next 10 seconds into futures and Powell. So I'm telling you guys, this is not easy on both sides. So if you're getting stopped out as a buyer, getting frustrated, or a seller, I completely understand. Both sides are getting frustrated here. Now, see how it pushes down to the downside. So is it going to get a wick and come right back up? Or is this thing going to continue with this daily candle pushing down? So there's the wick. It came down, got a wick. Now is it going to push back up? Now watch this candle. We're still trading in this zone. Came down, back down bearish. Got that wick coming back up. Coming back down bearish. So, you know, sellers could take this thing down, right? Man, so sellers are really pushing this thing, but have not, you know, closed below here as of yet. Okay, so this is another like impulse candle right when the futures market opened up. It could be another one of those fake out candles where it just came down, caught a wick coming back up. But I haven't seen any news on Powell yet. So if you guys see anything, you guys let me know. I have it on Financial Juice right over here. Any remarks, if he says anything, should be updated right over here. We can also wait for this bar to close. Wow, this is nasty, nasty, nasty volume, nasty price action. But eventually all of this accumulation inside here will be redistributed either to the downside or back up to the upside. Looks like it's to the downside. Okay, so you can enter on this, or we wait for it to officially close. We see, will it create a new low? Will it close down in here? We can kind of flip this green back to red, maybe sell this premium pullback back down into here. Holy shit, okay? So this is the kind of trade I wanted on the sell. It unfortunately came back up. They kind of chopped those buyers, and now they're redistributing right when the futures market opened up. Okay, so if you're in sells, guys, that's an important white line right there. Okay, it's very important. It's those two wicks right there, those equal low wicks. So if it can continue to break through there, you know, you're trading deep down into here at 42.15, maybe to the bottom of the red zone. So if I was in a sell, you know, I'd be keeping an eye on that white line, because right now you're right at that equal lows. So it could get a wick and come back up right there at that white line, or it could continue to push down. Okay, if you're in sells, congratulations. But yeah, Timmy, sometimes I like to do us dirty like that. What can you do? I got to look back and review. Maybe I had to wait a little bit more patient. Maybe I had to wait for it to sell those wicks up there. However, it's those shoulda, woulda, couldas. It's all good. But let's see what happens now. So it's tapping into that white line. Okay. So that's those equal low wicks. It has created a new lower low. Okay. So where will the closing balance be of this? Again, if it closes below this green zone, I'm going to flip it red, because it comes back up blue. I might be selling that location, selling the pullback. Wherever it goes down, I might have to cut this volume down. Powell said one word and the market came down. I don't know what he said. I don't see his speech. Maybe you guys can let me know. Okay. Oh, Fed Chair Powell does not comment on economy and monetary policy and remarks prepared for the delivery at Stanford University. What did he say? Good evening? And the market just dropped right when he said good evening. Oh, man. Oh, that's such a nice bar. Okay, and 30 seconds to go into the close. Okay, so it officially came down to the bottom of that red zone. You know, if you're a seller, that could be a good area to, you know, close out a little bit of profit, because it could return back up a little bit. Okay, so we got 15 seconds. I'm going to assume we're closing below this green zone, so I'm going to go ahead and make it red right up here. So I made that green one red. We've kind of moved out of all of this consolidated area. All those buyers and sellers that were accumulating, you can see that they pushed it down to the downside. Okay, so where's the cut line? Wow. Okay, so bearish ignited, continuing to drop down. Okay, so this is the kind of selling pressure I wanted. Shit, was a little too late, but man, And it opened, again, you got to follow the candle. It opened bearish ignited, dropped all the way down there. Okay, so if it comes back up, remember it's still a hanging man candle. It could continue to push down unless the candle flips blue. If it flips blue, it looks like it wants to come back and retest this white line. The white line were those previous supporting wicks. They could turn into resistance. Okay, so if it kind of flips blue, I see some of you guys are looking to counter buy or take it back up. If it flips right up to that, you're up 35 pips back up. If the candle flips bullish, hammer, and drives, up to there's 35 pips. If it can come all the way up there, it's an 80 pip return, okay? But it could just come back up and then go right back down. So you got to understand that as well, okay? Yeah, that's a big candle. If you measure that big bearish candle now, okay, we're not playing around with little candles. That's a 120 pip candle. So just like a retracement, even this big bullish candle that's coming up, that's a big candle, right? So if you're just looking to scalp a quick buy, that's great. But you got to understand that you could get pushed right back down if it comes up into here and push right back down. That's what I mean. See how it comes up and then they could push it right back down. So you got to be very careful with counter trading. Okay, so I'm just going to officially move that white line to exactly 50% of that bearish candle. Just going to quickly just move it to represent 50% right there. Oh man, you survived. Your stop loss was at 42.31. Oh, nice. Congrats. Okay. But it's a nice hammer coming back up, but let's see. Okay, so remember, 50% is this white line. The red location was the proper retest. If it comes all the way down there and goes back up. If it comes up real bullish and closes back above there, we could buy, you know, continue to look for buys above. But I'm going to wait and see where this candle closes next 2 minutes. I have no idea what Powell is saying right now. But ultimately, the futures market is open up. Emmanuel, nice. You're out with 58 pips. That's a good one. Good, solid return. Yeah, there's big volume in these candles. That's why Tokyo sessions are for gold. They are big volume-based candles. Do I trade currencies? Not at the moment. I used to when I first started trading. A lot of GU, a lot of EU. Those were the two currencies I was trading religiously. I did a lot of London sessions with those securities, with those. I find that they're very technical. They're very good if you're learning to trade for beginners. Also, if you like swing trading, they're great securities for swing trading. It's just, I find that they're too slow for me as a scalper. So I love volatility like this, where you could make 30 pips, 50 pips in one candle, in and out. You know, it was like watching, pulling teeth, watching GU try and move for 5 to 7 to 10 pips on 5-minute candles. So, you know, but I'm not knocking them. Currency are fantastic. You can do really well. You can secure a living by trading currencies. Just understand what you're looking for. Be patient, be disciplined. Get to know your security. If you're trading the pound, euro, make sure you're trading it more in the European markets as opposed to trading it in Tokyo or New York. If you're trading Tokyo, you should be right now focusing on the yen or the AUD or NZD. You shouldn't be looking at basically like the US dollar or Canadian dollar. That's more for North American markets. Okay, so you see what I mean, Emmanuel? When you get your pips, you got to dip right out because look at what happens. This can continue. Even though you made 60 pips on a counter trade back up, pip and dip, guys. That's what, you know, you got to understand that because holy shit, look at it selling right down to that daily point of interest down in there. Here's the close. My goodness. Okay, get ready. Look at it. Even if we cut that bar in half right there, holy. Okay. Took the previous day's low. Yeah, they're not fooling around. When you look at the daily candles now, okay, so look at the daily candles took out right there. You're absolutely correct, Sergio. Look at it. took out yesterday's low, so we're trading right into, remember, Friday's point of control here. So are we going to get some buyers pushing it up right now? That's why we got to watch it on the 5 minutes. Okay, so you guys know what this big green box is representing. It's Friday's point of control right there. That's Friday's 50%. We just took out yesterday's low. So is it going to build some strength, some buyers to return it back up? It's still pushing down, okay? So this is where maybe if we're going to entertain a buy, this could be an ideal area to look for buys coming out of here. But it may still want to continue to push down, so you got to be careful, okay? Okay, so a nice push up. Okay, so there's a rejection. Let's see if it continues to refuel itself. I might be looking to buy this thing, okay? When it continues, no, pushing back down, bear. So will it continue to push down? Will it find some buyers? There's a lot of time still left on this, under 4 minutes. So it has a lot of time on this candle. Coming back up, it's a spin top. Okay, I'm gonna go in a buy and see if we can continue to maybe make our way back up, at least to that 50%, to the point of interest of this candle, and maybe to the top of that white line. My stop loss I'm going to place below, a tad bit below Friday's interest point, the yellow line. That's from Friday, 50% of Friday. I'm placing my stop loss below there, and see if we can return back up through here and test that hourly white line, okay? So even if it needs to continue to build in here, maybe if we can come out of here, pull back down into here, maybe create like some sort of second bottom in order to get us up there, okay? So I'm testing out a buy. I know it's a tough area to maybe buy. I know I'm going against trend, but I want to see if Friday's point of control is welcoming, you know, buyers. But I also know that Powell is speaking right now, and I have no idea what the gentleman is saying right now. So, you know, but my stop loss, regardless, I'm in the trade, is just lower than that yellow line, just down into here, okay? And I know that this yellow line is Friday's point of control, exactly 50%, okay? So I want to see if this can continue to build its way, and if buyers can ask to trade up here and see if we can build a little bit of momentum, a little bit of blue volume to continue to transact into 50%, and back up to the point of interest right there to 42.15 and see if it can get up there, okay? And this is going to be my final trade of tonight, and then I'm going to take off after this, and then I'll be back with you guys tomorrow post New York 11 a.m. because Dave is doing 8 a.m. New York session, okay? So if this green zone can't hold up, then you got to understand that this is selling pressure that could continue to push down going into later tonight and into possibly like later into London, okay? So this is Friday's point of control. I want to see if the buyers are here. If they're not, kind of gives me some insight into where gold could continue to trade later tonight going into tomorrow, okay? So this is the first time we're trading inside here, and you know, it's been a significant drop, so we should see at least some buyers interested to push this thing back up. If they're not here, then they're not here. Then this is really, really strong selling pressure. And we're at this psychological number of 4,200. So not only are we at Friday's daily point of interest, we're also at a nice psychological number of 4,200. So that's where a lot of transactions are going to take place. So I'm hoping that a lot of buy orders are getting activated down here at 4,200. And this candle is closing in the next 30 seconds. Your buy limit got executed at 4,201. That's a nice entry. Anywhere around 4,200 is a good entry. Okay, but let's watch the close. So again, it's a spin top candle. It went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, it went up. We're right back to the opening balance. Let's see where it's going to close. It's still closing inside here, so we didn't close above, unfortunately, but we do have nice return wicks. So can we continue maybe building some support right around 42.03 304 and get a bullish return, at least testing up to 50% of this candle. If not, and sellers are going to continue to push down, but they got to continue to fill those wicks and get down to that daily yellow line. So hopefully maybe we can find a little bit of support in here to curl our way back up a little bit. If anyone can share with me anything that Powell is speaking about, I'd appreciate it, but no idea here myself. I don't see anything on the remarks. Nothing is being said here. He's not saying much? Okay, no worries. Trump administration to take equity stake in former Intel CEO chip startup. Xlight administration agrees to inject up to 150 million in startup, according to the the Wall Street Journal. That's big news. Okay, so we had a good push up, but we didn't trade into 50% of that previous bearish candle. It is making a new higher high, but still, you got to get it kind of a nice push into trading into here, because sellers could easily push this thing right back down. So let's see if we can transact inside that point of that 50%, the cut of that big bearish candle. If we can close above that red line, maybe momentarily we can make that support going forward so that we can push up to maybe test the opening of that big bearish candle that came down at right after the futures market opened up at 805. Okay, so you see it got right up there, right up to that 50%. They rejected it back down. Half the candle is exhausted. Okay, so now we got to go through the second half of the candle, figure out where it's going to close. Will it close above the green zone? Will it close back inside the green zone, black? Will we get it back up there and close above that red line? We'll figure it out in the next 2 minutes, okay? But there is some buying volume, right? But we're still counter trading that big selling move, and this looks like it could be the first kind of recovery right there, coming back up. So technically it could come back down, and engage in that second bottom, and the second bottom could be the bigger bottom with bigger volume. And but we'll see. Maybe we get a nice sharp V recovery with this move right here. Okay, so it's coming retesting again, 50% right in there. Okay, I haven't controlled my stop loss as of yet. I really want to see where this bar is going to close before I do anything. Wow. So again, it came right up there. They rejected it right back down. So this 42.11 is our resistance right now. And we're closing in 70 seconds. So you see we're transacting right at 50%. Okay. So if we can close above, we might turn this red line into support on our next bar. If it goes up, comes back down, we might get a wick here to continue to push up. And I'm looking to trade right back up to this candle right up here to see if we can kind of engulf this big black bar. And that would be about 80 to 90 to 100 pips if it can get up there, okay? This is now big volume, guys. Like that return right there is 50 pips, okay? So if you want, you can start to control your risk below. However, if you're still holding, we've got to figure out where this thing is going to close in the next 30 seconds, okay? Because we're still countering this big bearish move. And if we close near the high, remember, if we get an ignited bar, we could pop and go a little further. Okay, so this is a good, solid candle. Guys, that's 65 pips. You could make that loss back, what we just kind of lost. There's 70. Okay, 75 pips. So you guys can kind of do something. You don't have to wait for me. Here's the close. Okay, so we're going to use this red line as support. Short wick. Did we get a bullish ignited bar? It's blue. I see it. I see it. I see it. No, it wasn't ignited. So you see how we couldn't break that high with that blue bar. Now we're coming to retest the red line. Okay. So you remember that red line was the point of interest of that bearish candle. We cut it. Now it's acting momentarily as support. So can we hold that wick, and flip this candle back up blue? Then we could trade right up to the opening of that bearish candle. And that's where conveniently the 9 EMA is sitting at. So if it has to come all the way back down, unfortunately it's going to come back down, but we got to pick up a higher low somewhere inside here to hold this thing from coming all the way back down. So it didn't naturally hold exactly right at that red line. So it's got to maybe come a little deeper. If I'm looking to cut that bullish candle in half, the bullish candle, I would be cutting it right there. So maybe 50% is going to hold. But if it comes all the way back down to my entry point, you can see literally I pissed away 75, 80 pips by not doing anything. So I'm seeing if it can get a higher low and to come back up and break through here, okay? Or the second bottom. So it's counter trading, and we had a good bullish return, but you see right when that opened, it couldn't take out that small wick and drive. So now it's naturally coming right back down to where I just cut that blue candle. There's the support. Now can we continue to ask, and the buyers asked to trade back above 42.12, 42.13, flip this candle, and then we drive a little higher and test the opening balance of that 805 candle and maybe break a little higher, okay? Then the trade could turn into 80, 90, 100 plus pips. So we got a good retest, okay? But we got to flip this bar. Remember, open bearish, ignited, and dropped. So those sellers at the opening balance are strong. So we got to flip this thing. We almost flipped it right there, and then you see how it came back down black? So it's holding tough with those sellers. But if we can flip this, then we could possibly fill right up to that red line. But wow, okay, that opening balance there, 42.13 of this candle, is still holding tough with sellers. So now it came back down, picked up some more pending orders in the depth of market. Now let's see if we can come back up and ask with more volume we picked up, more delta, and continue pushing. So we just flipped our candle to a bullish pin bar. If we turn it into hammer, we're filling our previous wick. And then easily we got to trade up to this red line, and that will turn into 90 pips. Man, you see that? They still have not broke that high. Wow, okay? So the market is really holding this volume down currently. Oh my God. But if we can break through here, it could potentially kind of explode through here. But the market is holding this move down. It's trying everything in its power to hold this shit down right now. So we got a nice hammer candle. There's 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go. I'm being very stubborn with this trade, but I like to transact into that red line and a little higher. Maybe because I'm stuck on 100 pips in my head. Man, wow. What a battle up here. Wow. Holy shit. Like there's a wall up here, guys. At 42.15, 42.14, 15. There's a wall up there. We got a proper retest. We flipped the candle. It's just there's a lot of pending sellers sitting right in here. Like I don't want to do this, but this is where they are right now. Okay, and then now we got to continue to go through 40 seconds going into the close of the candle. Unfortunately, guys, we got a lot of sellers here. I haven't taken out any money yet. No, not yet. You know, maybe it's just me being stubborn on that previous loss. I could have recovered my loss, but we'll see. I still want to test this area up here. Okay, here's the close. They brought it right back down to that red line, and we're below it. So could get one more bear candle coming down, and then we technically really got to see if our buyers on the daily are here. Okay, can they be here for that second bottom? You remember when it's trading inside here, this is Friday's point of control where we kind of bought out of. So if it has to come back down, regain, get more buyers, then we could come up naturally with that stronger second leg and then maybe break this zone. But maybe we can do it with this volume right now. It could be like one of these Tetris pieces where it's bullish. There's the inside bearish bar. We opened ignited. So all we got to do is continue to build this candle, and then it will retest up here and possibly break out to get up here. So are we creating a bullish flag right now inside here? That's what I'm hoping for without even coming back down here. So we have that nice strong open. We're going into, it's 825 going into 830. And let's see if we can kind of push through here one more time, create those new highs, and pierce through here and fill that wick right up to there to at least 42.18. This is a beautiful bar. This is that Tetris piece. So it's beautiful. It opened bullish ignited. Now let's carry this momentum forward by breaking this red box. Okay, we do have a small higher high, but with this momentum we really want to break through here, just because there's a lot of sellers here, right? And their stop losses could be right in here and right up here. So we kind of want to pierce right through here and tap into stop losses and hit all this pending liquidity right through here. If we're going to do it, this is the time to do it. So it's coming right back up to 90 pips in profit, and then if we can continue to break right up there, 110, 120, just filling that previous back, filling that wick, okay? And then if we can start to break through here, I'm going to start reducing my risk in this trade. I kept it open to if it was going to come back down for that double bottom, but maybe I don't need to because I got the volume right now. But again, it's struggling right here with this 42.15, 42.16. Man, if we lose this momentum and they push it right back down, it's demoralizing for buyers. So we've got to really close strong with this candle. Maybe flip this red box green, close above so we can continue to drive. Okay, and then now we've exhausted the first half of the candle. Now we got the second half. Okay, so who's going to win the second half battle of this bar with the last 2 minutes to go? Are buyers going to continue to ask and trade and close strong up here, or sellers going to reject this volume back down? I hope that's not the case, but you know, we've got a lot of volatility in the markets. Powell is still speaking. No idea what the man is saying right now. Someone lost $7,000. Well, that's a lot of money to lose. I hope you have a $700,000 account. Okay, so now we got an inverted hammer candle. They've rejected the move. So we got to kind of build up our body back up again. But technically, if we look, we've made a higher high, higher high, higher high. So you got to make higher highs in order to continue to push. And we've got higher lows building off the bottom. But this is the strong, strong, strong resistance up here. And we got the close in 60 seconds. So you see like this opening balance of that candle, 42.15 and 75 cents is holding real strong. Those sellers are really, really significant right up there where every time we get up there. So here's the close in the last 30 seconds. Who will have momentum going into close? And we're officially going into 8:30. So, you know, things are going to get volatile again because we're coming into a new 30-minute candle. Okay? So let's see what happens here. Hopefully, maybe we can get some momentum pushing on our side to the upside and just continuing to retrace back up to here. Here's the close, and we're going into 8:30, higher time frame candle. So let's see what happens here. There's the close, okay, bearish. So can we just get a quick wick right away? Just a quick wick and just try and come up. If it needs to come all the way back down, can I cut that previous bullish candle in half? Yes, right there. If it does come down, maybe we can get a higher low right there. However, if it's just that quick wick, that shallow pullback, what I was just talking about, maybe that's all we need. A small little doji candle here and can continue to build and fill these wicks. And with 830 momentum, we could drive right through here, okay? So we got a good opening bar. This is representing 830. This is solid. This is what we need to break through here. That's the volume we need. That is technically 95. Technically, one more push is 100 pips. There we go. Okay, so that's a 100 pip move right up there. If we continue to fill, we're looking to fill this 805 wick. Okay, right there. To fill up to that 805 wick is about 120 pips up there. Okay, so I'm reducing my risk now. I'm going to go down to a break even. No risk in the trade, and I'm going to secure 80% right here because that recovers my loss and a little bit more. So I'm taking out 80% right here, and I'm at a break even for the remaining 20%, okay? So I scaled out 80% right there at 100 pips. The remaining 20% is at a break even, so I've definitely recovered my loss. So I'm back scratch. You know, that's what trading is, kind of you lose some liquidity, you go back and you figure a way how to pick it up. I'm fortunate to say that this move put me a little bit in the green. So I got enough money to buy a Monster energy drink after this session to give me some energy. But guys, but just don't forget that we are still counter trading, okay? So, you know, that white line is a big target right there, okay? So if it gets up there, we really have to respect that white line. And if it fills to that red box, you really have to respect that because that's kind of like total return right back up to there. And as sellers could just dump this right back down, okay? Are you guys good? You guys understand that? We continue to hold. If I'm still in, I'm 20% investing. Now we've got to wait for this bar to close because if it officially closes above this red block, we can convert this to green and maybe build a little bit of inverted support off of this, okay? These are, guys, that's a good move, right? That's 100, 110, 115 pips up there, okay? But again, if we're still in, which I am, 20%, so I got to continue to watch now closing volume, okay? Again, it didn't break for that new high above that wick. It tested it. So remember what I said earlier. We got to continue to make new highs in order to advance higher. That is, to me, an equal high or lower high, and sellers are still there, and they could push this thing back down, okay? So you kind of don't want to give away 100 plus pips, right? So I know, Nick, you were getting stressed out for me. I appreciate you, bro, looking out. But you always got to know Uncle Ron is always good, okay? No stress over here on my part. I'm more concerned about you guys. But I appreciate you. I know some of you guys are always saying, Ron, you know, go to break even, take out some profit. But you know, sometimes you got to wait for a trade to break out and develop. It takes time, okay? But anytime it hits 100 psychological pips or 1,000 points, I'm automatically doing something, 100%, okay? Sometimes I'm just scalping for like 30 pips. And then when you get 100 pips, it's more than enough, okay? But you see, guys, how it came up there and they've rejected it back down. So this could start this next leg that's going to push back down, right? You don't want to piss away all of that profit. And then that's where it could be, you know, like that double bottom to come back up, okay? So, you know, you don't want to get in the habit of giving away 100 plus pips to the market. Believe me, guys, it's not just financially sucks, but it's demoralizing mentally and psychologically. If you give back all that and then it comes and, you know, and you don't even have a break even, then you got your stop loss exposed, and then you turn a nice profitable trade into now a significant loss. And it's hard to recover from that. It might take you multiple days to recover. You know, that could also ruin your week and things like that. So you guys got to understand, when things like this happen in the markets, you know, check your ego at the door, accept the market is giving you some money and take it, right? And whatever happens after, that's why I leave 20% running. That helps me mentally and psychologically. Why I leave 20% running. If it still goes, I'm still involved in the trade. Whether it be only 20%, it's okay. But I know that I secured the bulk of the trade up there. And then I can sleep good at night, right? Knowing this, okay? It helps me mentally, okay? You know, as a trader, this is a mental grind to do this day in and day out. So you got to have some sort of routine that you personally follow. This is a routine that I follow. I'm not saying all of you guys have to follow what I do, but you got to figure out what works best for you. Me as a scalper, especially counter scalping this bearish move, that's more than enough. Because even if I just measure this drop with a Fibonacci from right there to right there, right now we're trading in that bearish point of control of those two bars from 8 and right there. You see, right in there. There's the 318 and the 682, and it could just come right in here. It could be kind of like this, a drop. We bought that beautiful move coming right back up, but it could just be the counter trade right there, and then sellers are ready to drop it back down and advance it even lower. But when it comes down here, you could be looking for that second bottom buy, and then the second bottom is got more volume potentially, and then has enough maybe to break and come and return it all the way back up there. But you know, it's still pushing bullish. You know, we got another ignited bar that just opened. Okay, so it's ignited bullish, but it's got a bigger wick to fill. Like you see, these were smaller wicks to fill, so we filled those no problem. This one is bullish ignited and has to continue to fill that wick in order to break. So when it came up, it got rejected with lower high. So if we lose this ignited open, it could flip into a shooting star candle, maybe possibly close below the red zone, and then we got a selling leg coming down. Okay, so guys, I'm going to stay with us for the remaining of this candle closing, 3 minutes, and then I got to bounce out of here. I hope you guys, you know, had some fun on today's session. I didn't see what Powell was saying. You know, he's still possibly speaking. Don't forget tomorrow, guys, we do have our join Dave in the private New Yorks at 8 a.m., you know, right there. And then I'll be coming in live post New York at 11. We'll go till 2. And then also tomorrow, another Tokyo session, same time, 6:30. So we got some bonus sessions, guys. You know, hit the like button if you guys learned something tonight, had some fun with me. Subscribe to the channel. We're 2 subs away from 89,700. Don't leave us hanging for 2 subs right there. And also, guys, Cyber Monday promos here at SST. Join a winning community. Join our Discord. I'll show you our Discord right over here in the commodities channel. So these are our snipers right over here doing their thing. Who do we got in here? Courier, Tyler, Ali Gucci. All Gucci. I thought bro, it was Ali Gucci. I got a friend, his name is Ali Gucci. So I thought my friend signed up, Tyler. Oh, that's hilarious, bro. But yeah, Forex Borix is king of commodities in here. Snoop Dogg is doing the crip walk. Tyler killing it. Good job, bro. But amazing traders in here, mentors, you know, whole community doing their thing, guys. So that's what I'm telling you guys. You know, when we came up, there's that rejection. That's it. They maybe pinned it, and now they're ready to push it down. So, you know, like I would be getting ready to maybe possibly sell this leg coming down. So, you know, you got to accept some profit. I still have that 20% running at break even. We'll see what happens with it. But you got to understand why I took out 80% up there, okay? It's not being greedy. It's just understanding structure and knowing that I'm counter trading a massive move from when the futures market opened. So getting a 100 pip return is good enough, is what I'm trying to say, okay? And if you guys are having a difficulty time understanding that, then maybe intraday trading or scalping is probably not your cup of tea. Then maybe you got to move to like the 30-minute time frames and the hourly, and then sit back and watch bigger moves, okay? Because this is more than enough for a 5-minute trader. I'm honestly telling you the truth, okay? This is actually going over my limits when I'm scalping, okay? Guys, hopefully you had some fun. Join us again tomorrow. Join the team. Take advantage of the Cyber Monday. Every plan is cut in half. So when prices get too high, we cut them in half for you guys. So join the team. And I promise you guys, you will learn something in the Discord. You'll learn something with Dave, myself, all of the other mentors here. There's lots of education on our website, free blogs available, trade ideas, signals, and we're going to do some more I now maybe some like one session a week, focus on outlooks and swing trading. So and then I know if you guys join that call, in the title in big capital letters it will say swing trading analysis and education, and we won't be on the 5-minute scalping. We'll be looking for bigger moves throughout the week will be maximum 4-hour candles, okay? So we'll get some points of control, some ideas, we'll set some alerts, and we'll watch 4-hour candles open and close, okay? And thanks, guys. I had a fun time tonight. So hopefully we recovered and we learned from that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the Patriots game. If you guys are going to watch some NFL football tonight, enjoy your Monday night. And be ready for tomorrow. My pleasure, Lorraine. Sherry, it's nice seeing you. Sherry, is it bedtime? I know you're not. You're not often on the Tokyo sessions with us, but I appreciate you joining us. Aaron, thank you, bro. I appreciate you from day one, Aaron. Glad to see you here as well. So we got a lot of old timers here. Aaron, Sherry, thank you. Lorraine, Irhan, welcome, guys. Okay. I hope everyone has a great evening. Thanks for the support, guys. We do appreciate every one of you guys. It is truly humbling to get to almost 90,000 subscribers on YouTube, just doing some live trading and some education. And it shows how much we got to continue doing this. We got to continue educating so a lot of people learn how to hopefully be financially free. God bless. I hope we all do, okay? But it takes a while. Remember, trading is not get rich quick, okay? We can get wealthy and you can get healthy and you can learn how to do this, but it does take time. It does take years, okay? So some of you guys might say, oh, Rowan, I'm 6 months in and I'm still struggling. 6 months is nothing. You're still a baby in this kind of industry. It might take 3-5 years before you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So don't understand that we've suffered just like if you're suffering. You're not the only one. Believe me, this wasn't given to us and we just turned out of the gate, became profitable traders. This took a lot of learning, financial losses, a lot of long nights, a lot of sacrifices, guys. But I'm telling you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is well worth it if you put the time in learning this stuff. As long as you guys can control your risk management and stop gambling, okay? That's what will get you to the next level. Just lower your sizing, open up your stop loss, look for high probable setups. Yes, sometimes you're going to get stopped out like I did. I got stopped out on the first trade, but the second trade, I made up for it and a little bit more. I'm not close to anywhere being near a daily goal. I still got a lot of work to do tomorrow morning, but sometimes this is how sessions roll. Sometimes you walk into high impact news. I can't, remember the start of the call, sell side bias, but if I was to review this with you, I can see 7:30. It was probably the wrong time. I entered at 7:30. I should have waited for, like when I look at it now, if I waited for the futures market right there, 7:55, and then I see how they kind of faked out the wick there and brought it down. Had I got in, maybe possibly, if I missed that candle, maybe this retest candle at 8:05, I could have been in on that sell. But everything happens for a reason. I'm not a person to make any excuses. It's live. I can't hide anything. You guys live through the wins, the losses, the break-evens, the lessons, and we're all going to learn together, okay? So I hope that I can make it in a fun, live, educating way for you and not just go back testing and say, guys, we should have done this where it closed above here. We should have bought there. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it live. If not, let's not even talk about it unless we're back testing and we're educating. But I appreciate you guys. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of your evening. And you see, guys, why it's not a good idea, when you're counter trading to continue want more and more and more. You got to understand that there's structure above us. And you see how it kind of traded right in there. And now sellers are selling that leg down. If you guys rewind this call, you guys probably heard me say, I want to sell this leg coming down. So if I was still trading, I'm not going to say I would, woulda, shoulda, coulda, but I possibly would have been in this candle selling it down and grabbing another 30, 50 pips just by looking at how it got rejected there, and open bearish igniting, just taking that momentum down, knowing that what zone we're still trading in, okay? So you will get the hang of this stuff. It's going to become like second second nature to you. Like, you're going to be doing this in your sleep when you understand pattern recognition, retracements. Are you counter trading? Are you trading with the trend? All of these things. It's all, you're putting each piece of the puzzle together, okay? Candle by candle, you're going to do it, guys. I have faith in everybody on this call. If I didn't believe in you guys, I wouldn't be here, okay? Honestly, I'm telling you guys the truth. I could be with my kids right now and my wife and my family. This is the evenings when they come home, supper time from school, and I'm investing in you guys. So I hope that you guys are investing in yourselves and taking trading very serious. You're taking your charting, your analysis serious. You're taking your risk management. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time here. But I know a lot of you guys are really putting in the effort, putting in the time, and I respect you guys so much for doing that. And if you're struggling and still putting in the time, I have more respect for you still putting in the time learning by not over leveraging and revenge trading and gambling. I don't have too much respect for gamblers. If you're a gambler, I'm sorry. You gotta fix your ways. Okay, you can't gamble your way in these markets. Eventually, the house will always win. You know, there's a saying in the casinos that you can go in the casino as much as you want, try gambling and get rich quick and hit that jackpot, but there's a saying, the house always wins. So if you're gambling in the markets, the house is your broker, the house is your prop firm, they will always win, okay? So you got to figure out an edge to give yourself. An edge is trading with discipline, being humble, accepting 50 pips or 100 pip profit, and look for another trade, and you might be well off to your daily goal. That's it, guys. And let's continue to look for same setups tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow's another day. So thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you guys. SST is going to put in the work for you guys. So if you can kindly leave us a like on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening, everyone. And to all of those that are on the call where it's very late in the morning, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you guys. But get some rest, okay? Because you don't want to look like me with my red eyes, okay? So get some sleep, guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good evening. Thanks, everyone. God bless. Guys, have a great night. Have a good night. Amir, you had a good solid day today. Get some rest, everyone.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.